Noah was kidnapped by her own biological father, who demanded a $1 million ransom from her mother. It turns out that just before this happened, Nick's dad had suddenly reached out to him and told him about Noah's past. Not only had Noah's father physically abused her mother, but he had also nearly killed Noah once. Now, to make matters worse, Noah's dad was out of prison and would surely seek revenge on Noah and her mom. Nick's father urged him to protect Noah at all costs. Meanwhile, Noah was completely unaware that her monstrous father had been released. She was happily hanging out with friends at a bar. At the same time, Nick was frantically searching everywhere for Noah. Just as Noah was leaving the bar with her buddies to head home, Nick arrived in the nick of time. He then drove Noah home. In the car, he noticed Noah's knife scar again. At that moment, Nick felt an overwhelming urge to protect her. After getting home, Nick tucked Noah into bed. Knowing she was afraid of the dark, he decided to quietly watch over her as she slept. However, early in the morning, Nick's dad barged into the room. Seeing the scene before him, Nick's father was taken aback for a second. But after telling Nick that his sister was in the hospital, he left the room without saying much else. Noah and Nick then went to the hospital together. Thankfully, Nick's sister was okay. After getting her settled, the two of them drove back home, their expressions grim as they weren't sure how to face their parents. Suddenly, Nick pulled the car over. Noah looked at him, puzzled. Unable to contain his feelings any longer, they passionately embraced. The two frolicked on the beach until dawn, hugging by the shore as the waves crashed against the rocks. They shared their dreams with each other, but happy times are always fleeting. On the way home, they stopped at a convenience store and Nick got out to buy something. However, when Nick returned, Noah had vanished from the car. Nick pulled the store's surveillance footage and discovered that Noah had been kidnapped. The police investigation revealed that Noah had been receiving threatening letters all along. It was all orchestrated by Noah's father. And the person who had previously won Nick's sports car turned out to be Noah's dad's prison buddy. Noah slowly regained consciousness and the first person she saw was the last person she wanted to see. For Nick's father, $1 million was nothing. Later, Nick's parents waited at the location specified by Noah's father with the million in cash. But after waiting a long time, no one showed up. Little did they know, Noah's dad was watching everything through a hidden camera. At that moment, Nick suddenly arrived in his car. He told the female officer in charge of the case that there was a tracking device on the sports car he had lost to his nemesis. Tracking it would reveal Noah's location. But Noah's father had already learned of all this. Just as Nick and the policewoman arrived at the location of the tracking device, a sports car suddenly came racing out. Nick was shocked to see that Noah was the one driving. It turned out that Noah had been held at gunpoint by her father. Following his directions, Noah had unintentionally driven the car to where her mother and stepfather were. Fortunately, her stepfather used a bag of money to block the bullet. Noah lashed out at her dad, saying he should have just taken the money and left. Why did he have to try to kill her mother? By this point, police cars were everywhere. Eventually, Noah and her father were cornered at a pier. Nick also arrived on the scene in his car. Just as Noah's father was about to end it all, Noah and Nick's eyes met. In that instant, they could read each other's minds. With just a glance, they knew what the other was thinking. Without any hesitation, they slammed on the gas pedals and recklessly raced towards each other. This stunt left me absolutely dumbfounded, but at least the ending was pretty good. After that, the two of them went on to live a happy life together. Thanks for all the likes and follows, everyone.